Hi, this is Rob Leo, and in this tutorial we're going to look at a Google Slides add-on for Pear Deck that really lets you build a Pear Deck lesson directly in Google Slides. The way this works is you add the Pear Deck add-on to your account. To do that, I'm here in Slides. We're going to start with add-ons, and if you click Get Add-ons, you just need to do a search for Pear Deck, or if you see it front and center, you can certainly grab that as well. If you don't, type in Pear Deck, you should see a plus free button that's blue. Click on it. It'll add it to your account, and then you can access it from the add-ons menu. You should see a little sign once you click the blue button that it's working, and then you should see a little speech bubble toward the add-ons showing you where to find it. So now that I've successfully installed it, if we click on add-ons and hover over Pear Deck, you can open the Pear Deck sidebar directly in Google Slides. There's a great little video for how it works. You can check that out. But again, we're going to just go to Pear Deck and open the Pear Deck sidebar. So let's say you want to gauge your students' understanding of the homework. They have a template or several templates you could use at the beginning of a lesson, some during the lesson, and some at the end. You can even ask some questions on the fly to make your slides more interactive. Let's say we're at the beginning of the lesson and I want to know how the students did on homework. Since I'm on the first slide, it's going to use my slide background as a background template. I'm just going to click what did you learn from the homework? And Pear Deck should automatically insert that into my slide presentation. There you can see now it's the second slide. Notice it did keep that image, if you will, for my background, my theme to my slideshow. And students would answer this by writing a response. And we'll show you what that looks like from a student point of view. Like I said, they have several before the lesson begins type questions, and it tells you what type of slide it will be. This is a text slide, but they have drawing slides. Draw two things you already know about today's topic, and they have draggable slides. This is part of the pay for account. And as I mentioned in a previous video, if you're interested, please let me know and I can get you a link to get a limited premium account, limited time premium account. Let's go back and let's go scroll through the lesson. Let's say I've done a couple slides worth of lecturing during my lesson, and I want to know what the students have learned so far. So I'm going to click on one during the lesson called Summarize What You've Learned. This is a text slide as well. And that will add it after the slide that I was most recently on. It's also a nice timeline lesson. So let's say I'm going about my lecture, talking about different bits of information. At some point, I want to ask different time-related questions. Let me insert the text slide for a timeline. Write down why these events are important. Now, this is editable. And what I could do here is kind of mimic some of the important information relevant to my lesson. And I could add other important dates and so forth as I go on. Students would write a response at the bottom of the screen why these events are important. And again, I might use that from something like a timeline. They have other types of questions, draggable slide, for example. How do you feel things are going? And again, with a premium account with a draggable slide, students can drag this little blue dot and they can say, keep going, I understand, I'm a little confused, or stop, I need help, and the teacher will see all that. It's also labeling questions on a drawing slide. They have draw a line to the right dot on the timeline. Again, you could set up a timeline and students could draw. They have a mapping question. They have different environmental forms, geographic forms, drawing a line to where you might find them. They even have graphing questions, vocabulary questions. In this case, it might look like a matching question for a world languages class. Draw lines to match the image to the answer. And again, students would just use their finger to draw on the screen, or you grab a pen and draw on the screen. Mind mapping questions, circle the correct choice question. So something really for every grade level and every subject. At the end of your lesson, if you want to include more, they also have some other summative questions. In 1 minute, write the most important thing from today's lesson. Pretend your friend was absent from class today. Nice little ticket out the door questions. Even how are you feeling about the lesson? And you could have the students kind of draw how they're feeling about the lesson. When you're ready to present this, you could go to present. You also have ask students a question on here. So let's say I'm on a slide. What I might want to do is ask a text question, and that will turn the current slide into an interactive slide. It adds a question to your current slide and the students write an answer. So I might just verbally ask a question. There's nothing extra I necessarily need to do for this, but students could write on the screen. If I have a different one where I want them to draw, I could say, hey, students, circle, circle the capital city of X, Y, and Z, or show the trade route. And again, you should be able to have students draw anywhere on the slide as you're asking your question verbally. So some you can set up, some you can do on the fly. When you're all set, it's time to present with Pear Deck. You're not simply presenting with Google Slides. You're going to click Present with Pear Deck. And from there, it'll prompt you, just like it would through Pear Deck, to make sure you're projecting properly, make sure that the students have the appropriate code and all that fun stuff. So this does take a few moments. Once you do it the first time, though, Pear Deck will remember and will make it easier the next time you use this lesson. It'll be stored on Pear Deck as a Pear Deck lesson. All right, now we got to make sure the browser is doing what it's supposed to do. And then we're going to prompt the students. And what I'll do now is I'll bring over a student screen so you can kind of see what's going on. So here we have the student side of things, and we're just going to have the students go to joinpd.com and type in the code troubling avocados underwhelm orange umbrellas. Right off the bat, it's going to ask the students how they're feeling today. And we're in. Down on the teacher side, you have the teacher dashboard. You can advance to your slides, and you should see that reflected on the student screen. Let's see. I did ask, what did you learn from the homework? This is a students write your response type question. So as a student, what I would want to do is type in my response and answer here. And I actually have two screens open, so I'm projecting on the screen that you're seeing, but on my other monitor, I have the teacher dashboard, so you can kind of see what the students are doing. So it is easy to extend your desktop so that you have two different windows open, one showing what you're projecting and the other showing behind the scenes how students are responding. If we go on to the next slide, I'm teaching, I'm delivering content. The student screen is being is reflecting all that. And now I've asked the student to summarize what they've learned. I've actually brought the wrong screen over here. And the students would then type in their response. And again, the teacher is seeing that appear on the other monitor. Teacher continues teaching, advances the slides. We saw a couple of them where you had to draw on the screen. I believe I asked a question, not on this map, on this question, students write a response. And again, this was not something set up ahead of time. This is something that I'm just asking on the fly. Maybe I'm asking students, how does this architecture reflect, the religion? And as the students type their work in, you're seeing the results of their work on your other monitor with a running list. If the teacher did want to share what the students are saying, they could click project student responses, and you would see a running list of all the student commentary. Another one where I've asked students to draw, and again, no setup at all. I'm just going to ask them, hey, by the way, circle the trade routes that may have gone through, or draw the trade routes, and the students may, kind of indicate how things are going. If that is too much, I believe they can change the thickness. But anyway, I think you get the idea. It's a great way for the teacher to kind of build a Pear Deck lesson on the fly without doing too much work, since you already have a Google Slides presentation prepared ahead of time. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for listening.